Showroom stock. See, it's going to be some exciting racing with some different cars, Dorsey.
And you're talking about Joel Liparini. You see, he is the 2009 champion. He is also on the pole today with a full 1 second split over the second-place car. That doesn't bode well for the guys that will be chasing him. But with all this wind out here on the racetrack and so forth on these little boxy cars, I'm thinking if you could get a couple of friends with you to draft, that you might be able to go at Joel Liparini's time.
Well, Liparini does have Michael Crawford, who's also the same stables. They both race in the Northeast Division. Liparini hailing from Pittston, Pennsylvania, and Crawford from the same hometown. Both running Acura Integra LSs, and they could play a factor. As we mentioned, the pole sitters, Liparini, and back in fifth on the grid is Michael Crawford, his teammate in the 66. And our teammate on pit road is John Visignano. And, John, what's the story before we go green here?
Well, the name of this class is Showroom Stock C. That's the least powerful class. It's almost made up of what you could call economy cars. And I cannot emphasize enough that driving an economy car at race speeds takes a heck of a lot of talent. I mean, if you look at the cars, these are stock tires. Sure, they're shaved down. Stock wheels, stock brakes underneath there. Joe Liparini has anything but stock, that's for sure. Then you get back to the aerodynamics. The only aerodynamics on this car that you can have is what comes with the car in the showroom. So, Acura up front, a Toyota here, a Chevrolet here. I'll say it again, to drive an economy-type car with stock brakes, stock tires, stock aerodynamics, stock engine, they still have the interiors in these cars. To drive them 10/10ths at racing speeds right next to one another takes one heck of a lot of skill. This is one of the most fun races and one of the most skillful driven races you'll see all weekend long. Okay, guys.
I totally agree with what Bill's saying there. You know, with the little engine in the car, doesn't have a lot of power. You have to keep the momentum up. You got to get your entry speeds to these corners high, and you keep it straight. You know, you can't slide the car around because there's no power to recover from.
Divisions throughout the country are represented here. 8 of the 9 division champions are in this race, so they're coming from all corners of the United States. And Central Division is where we are. It happens to be also where the June Sprints is taking place. But again, 9 key races, 1 per division. So these racers, we're talking about loaded for bear. 8 different division winners compiling into here. No points on the line, a lot of pride, and there's 3 medals they hand out. The gold, silver, bronze, and everybody else is going to say, we had a good run, we enjoyed it. But, man, they want to have something hanging around their neck when this one's over.
These are all stock front-wheel drive cars. You have to drive a front-wheel drive race car differently than a rear-wheel drive race car. You actually end up making the back of the car a little bit loose so that when you point into the corner, the car starts to slide. You'll see that today as these cars enter the corner. They look like they're going to spin out, but then you get on the power, the front-wheel drive pulls the back in line, and that's how you drive one of these.
Sounds like a lot of fun. It sounds like you almost have to play that compromise game, the dance. I mean, you have to know that limit.
It's definitely different. I mean, you lead into the corner with the brake on, and it makes the car get loose. It starts to rotate or start into a spin. Then you match with throttle and pull it back in line again. And you'll see these guys with some varying attitudes of sidewaysness in the corner. But you can recover with a front-wheel drive car from a slide much, much better than you can a rear-wheel drive car. We
shall find out as Joel Liparini is on the pole position. Outside of him would be a driver that has been near the front. As a matter of fact, his best run last year was 6th, but Mark McCahey has lined up as number 18, second on the grid. McCahey driving a Toyota Celica GTS. We caught a glimpse of that all-black machine as we heard from Biz a moment ago. Brian Houston will line up third in a Chevy Cobalt SS Coupe. That's the number 65 machine. We saw him giving us the thumbs up. He's ready to go racing from row 2, and it's pretty neat to see Ali Naemi in his 13th runoff here, trying to improve his best run of a third a year ago. He's got the bronze. I'm sure it's somewhere prominent in his house. But Ali is all set to go from Morgan Hill, California. He starts in row number 2 in the 14 Mazda 3, sponsored by OfflineRacing.com and Hoosier and Mazda. In row number 3, we find the 66 of Michael Crawford. We mentioned he's a teammate to the pole sitter in every way, shape, or form in the Race Labs BFG Multiscape Acura Integra LS. In row number 3 on the outside, in number 71, is Larry Delude, the Litchfield, Connecticut racer, a veteran of racing here in the SCCA, Ignition Incorporated, Goodyear Team DI, Toyota Celica GT. Row number 4, we find Jonathan Start in the number 06 machine out of Caledonia, Michigan. He's out of the Milwaukee region, runs Central Division, the Hoosier Tire Redline Oil Carbotech Mazda 3, and his compatriot for at least the first lap on the eighth starting position in row 4 is the 02 of Thomas Daly. And Daly really has had an improvement. He finished second here in the June Sprints. Last year he finished 11th in the runoffs, and I think he's really getting his program together. He has got the opportunity to win 2 races within his division this year, so I think Daly will be heard from before this is over in the 02 machine. In making up row number 5, the number 42 of Philip Royal out of Winnetka, California, the sports car BFG Nissan. And his outside, we find James Clark, the number 8 machine from Appleton, Wisconsin. I'm sorry, Jim Eben. They list him as James Clark Eben. Jim Eben out of Appleton, Wisconsin. And the VW-sponsored Hoosier Lamers Motor Racing Rabbit. So we'll see how he handles the pressures of being the last name Eben and his, of course, Cliff Eben, perennial favorite in GT1. We'll see how Jim Eben does in the number 8 machine here in Showroom Stock C. To find the rest of the field, well, we'll tell you who they are right now. The number 38 is James Place. He's out of San Antonio, Texas. He'll start 11th. Starting 12th in row number 6 is the 23 of Peter Keene out of Cocoa Beach, Florida. And the Goodyear Racing Tires, Go Racing TV Acura. Starting 13th, the number 59 of Gino Carini of Fox Point, Wisconsin. That's a Milwaukee suburb. And the Palermo's Warden Mazda Marenzo, Mazda 3. Also is sharing that same row with a Mazda 3 is John Saucier of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. In the number 31 machine, this is John's 29th SCCA National Championship runoff.
I was about to say, John was racing when I was racing back in 71. He was racing before that, so I know he's been around a long time.
In 71. Now, when it comes to showroom stock racing, is that a formula you raced in, or were you more in the open cockpit formula cars?
I started in open cockpit. Actually, I ended up going into the pro division of showroom stock, which back then it was called Firestone Firehawk Series, and I ran for Team Dodge and drove front-wheel drive turbo Dodge for many years.
Well, we'll see how these front-wheel drive cars take to this 4-mile road course at Road America. This is Showroom Stock C. Again, there's one more race remaining today on Friday. Upcoming is the Formula F. It used to be called Formula Ford. We'll get into that, but these guys are all about getting on this racetrack to go 13 laps around this 4-mile road course to make up what is the championship run for 20 competitors. We mentioned John Saucier starting 14th. Steve Hendricks will start 15th in the number 6 out of Rosemount, Minnesota. Luther Westside Volkswagen Rabbit. Starting 16th will be Kenneth Fitzgerald in his second runoffs in the number 27 machine out of Maryland. Starting 17th, the 43 of Brian Boggart of Schneckersville, Pennsylvania. And 18th spot, the number 5 of Stephen Christopher. Again, these are after 3 days of qualifying. That's what determines fastest to slowest, our lineup for today. And starting in the final row, row 10, the number 69 of Bill Seifert out of Haley, Idaho. And he is outside the number 90 of Albert Sauerland from Titusville, Florida. So again, we're bringing the nation together in the Olympics of road racing at Road America.
You see these guys scrubbing their tires, and it's what they're doing is just getting the dirt off of the tires, really. They're not trying to put heat in the tires because this is a street tire. It doesn't really respond the same way as a racing tire would do. So, I mean, actually these tires are best. They have their most grip when they're cold. Somewhere around the second hot lap is when they're optimum.
And we'll keep track of that for you, who has the fastest lap, how those gaps change, and we're glad to have Time It's going with us on the SpeedcastTV.com. You'll see the running positions scrolling across the top of your screen as well as we're getting ready to go Showroom Stock C racing here. And Lipperini, man, he's had a perfect season. Well, yeah. I wonder if he'd settle for even getting passed on the racetrack.
He has had a perfect season. He won the June sprints here already. He's sitting here on the pole with a full second. And I watched him as he was zigzagging the car back and forth. Look how much body roll that car has. He must have it really, really soft for it to move that body. You don't see the other cars doing quite as aggressive of a body roll.
I would think just the opposite you'd want, but he's obviously making that work with as much body roll. I would think you'd want to be go-kart-like in this kind of a car.
It's like I say, the front-wheel drive cars, they do a bunch of trick things to them to make the back end move out. They sometimes instead of running toe in on the alignment at the back of the car, they'll actually toe out the back of the car so it wants to rotate and get these cars through the corner better.
And they're going through turn number 5, one of the favorite viewing points. The top of the hill here is turn number 6. It's a hard left-hander, and hard because you come up over the hill, and it's immediate dart to the left. And Dorsey, I really enjoy this portion of the course because it really seems that it's not the point you take a breath, but you try into 5, you hustle through 6, and then through this turn here, it doesn't look nearly as daunting, but 7 seems to be that falling off the face of the earth turn.
Yeah, 6 and 7 both are much harder than they look. For 6, you come up the hill, it's blind corner. When you turn in, once you get past the crown of the road in the middle, it drops off. It loses camber, and the car wants to go push off. Now, turn 7 starts off camber, and it's off camber all the way. So, in other words, when you're going to a banking, if you look at a banked oval, the banking's there to help the car get grip. With a negative camber corner, it's just the opposite. It's made there to make the car get loose and not want to stay on the racetrack, which makes it really frustrating as a driver.
And down the hill, we just saw turn 8. That downwards, you can't really tell on camera. It's a pretty steep run down there.
Yeah, this is a lot of elevation here, and that's a great brake overtaking zone, turn 8. Hard braking down there. You're going to go down into second gear, and then you come into the carousel, which is a 180-degree corner. But again, the elevation, you start at the top of the hill into that 180, and it just keeps going down the hill further as you go. And then, of course, this corner, the infamous kink, which you do not want to get it wrong.
The artist Randy Owens, you know how colorful his paintings are? If you ever go by 11 after an event weekend, it looks like Randy Owens was there painting the right side of the wall.
We've seen some big action in the kink here today already. Every race we've had has had some sort of incident in that corner. It's completely high speed, wide open. These cars might have to brush the brake a little bit, but it's really, really a blind corner. It's very fast.
Then they come down here quickly through this area here.
Now, this is funny, because this is the back straightaway, but you can see it's not straight at all. And people get in trouble there. This is the brake zone for Canada Corner, another good overtaking place.
And we saw some drivers on the outside and inside. It seems like you're setting up for the next corner after the one you want to make the move on. And with these cars in showroom condition, it's going to be interesting to watch.
Well, this corner here, the Canada Corner, when you make the corner, you're going to head up a big hill. So the exit speed on this corner is really vital, because you have to pull up that hill. And these cars have very little horsepower. You see them as they climb the hill now. That used to be the Bill Mitchell Bridge right where they're turning left. That bridge has been removed, and it certainly looks a lot different now.
Bill Mitchell bend, and then they really, again, go rumbling down like a roller coaster right before you get the big hit. You go up and down again. It kind of gets you elevated off before you head down in 13 down into 14.
And that's the last corner coming onto the front straightaway, so we'll be getting a green in a minute. And I would think today, with this big blustering wind that we have, that these guys really need to tuck up and draft well together.
Let's see if Liparini or McCahey has the advantage as we're coming up the hill to begin our 13-lap run to the National Championship in Showroom Stock C. Great formation, 20 cars again in this event, representing 8 different divisions, with the division winners coming to the green flag. They've worked all week long, all year long, for the opportunity to go racing here at Road America in the National Championship Runoffs, and we've got a green flag.
Really nice, clean start there at the front row.
Oh boy, here we come, 3 wide. This is not the start of the Indy 500. This is the start of Showroom Stock C.
Now, these guys will swap paint. They'll lean on each other's doors through these corners.
Someone gave way there, wisely enough. Joe Liparini always ran car number 81, but after that win last year, changed it to number 1, and he changes the complexion at the front, at least not for him, but everybody else. They're watching his taillights. Liparini has the advantage right now.
This is down in the brake zone into turn 3.
Man, it looks like they're 4 wide, and they all get through there somehow.
Yeah, that's these cars, like Biz was saying at the beginning of the show, they don't have a lot of horsepower, and they all accelerate exactly at the same spot. So you really got to learn to trust the guys around you, because you're racing really close.
And they're still rushing and trying to fight out for position there. We saw a little bit of a fender smoke there from contact side to side, well back in the pack.
Of course, they're going to go down the hill. This is the brake zone for turn 5.
Oh, that was a little bit scary there, wasn't it? Liparini said, if you want the outside, you can have it. Wait a minute, I got to make this corner first.
It's a hard corner because you're headed downhill. You've got all the weight of the car up on the nose going down that hill, so it's easy to lock up a brake there.
Mark McKay, he had a Sarasota, Florida, and a Toyota Celica GTS. It was classified from a showroom stock B to a C to get it better matched. And they seem to be very equally matched right now with an Acura.
And Liparini's car right there, again, a lot of body roll. I think he's got that set up like to where he can use the body to help the car get through the corner.
And here comes the Charger McKay, that black machine, downshifting here into 8 clean here, and there's a 3-car breakaway momentarily. The 65 of Houston now joining the fun.
These cars have very little tires on them, so I mean it's so easy to overdrive a corner, to try to go through the corner faster than the tire has adhesion, and then you'll force either understeer or you'll oversteer if you get the car loose. But it's really hard to keep it at its limit, and that's what John Bizignano was talking about, putting these things on 10/10s and keeping them.
And it seemed to be a lot of momentum. I see Houston just had one bit of it seemed like he might have missed the apex just a little bit, and he lost 5-6 car lengths.
Yeah, you got to be spot on with these things. Like I said, they're momentum cars, and if you do something where you have to get off that throttle and nobody else has to, you see it right away.
Now we see that gap again from second back to third. The race leader is Joe Liparini. Briefly had the lead under challenge by the 18 machine at McCahey. McCahey now able to run the tire tracks right now. Might be a smart move here. Maybe they want to get some distance and break away a bit.
You know, that's an Acura Integra he's driving up there, and those have been raced quite a while now. It's a really good car. It's a good race car.
In third is the 65 of Houston. There's the 4th place runner, the 06 machine. That's Jonathan Start. He started in the 7th position, has worked his way into 4th here on the end of lap 1 to begin lap number 2 of 13 in SSC. He looks like he has a sniff of the lead pack here coming up the straightaway.
Yeah, I said that before. You really need to be right up on top of each other and get in that draft. You can see right now we've got a 3-car breakaway. The 4th car is just out of the picture right now.
McCahey around the outside of Liparini. Liparini may have let him go. Now he's going to have to be challenged for second. What is Liparini going to do? He's stuck in the middle here.
Oh, you got to be real careful when you turn in with somebody underneath you there. Make sure you don't make contact. All works out.
Luckily, he cleared him, and the 65 of Houston was able to hang on to third without any contact. But man, awfully dicey up front right here early on in Showroom Stock C.
I think they're testing each other. You know, you're going to find out, they're finding where they can make those moves. It's too early to even really worry about the end of the race yet, because you start only the end of the first lap. But you can start pressuring and see where you can make an advantage up on someone.
McKay is the Central Florida Region racer. He's the Southeast Division champion. 4 wins this season within division, and he ran 7 events, so a very successful run for him. He is currently the race leader, and Joel Liparini, 8 out of 8 this season. You think, okay, who's gonna run second? Right now, he's in second.
That's quite a record he's got for sure. And of course, like I said, he won the June Sprint Series. He was last year's champion on top of that. So he knows this racetrack real well.
4-car breakaway including Jonathan Start. That's Joe McLuhan's car for 2008. The winner there is the 06 machine.
The wire came loose or something, whatever that was. They didn't spend a lot of time working on it, but it. Once you're that far back, you're not going to get a win out of it. Oh, drops 2 wheels off there on the apex.
Well, that says a lot about where he's thinking. He wants to get through that corner. He wants to get down that into the kink area. And look at the gap already. A little bit of pressure from ahead, shall we say. Liparini, again, winning all those races this year. Really pushing the limit here.
You see the body roll there. It really lays over on the left side coming to the kink there. And I have to assume that that's the way he likes it. He's got the car set up like that. The success speaks for itself.
Miami runs in the 4th position in the number 14 machine. Make that 5th now. As again, the leaders get a little bit strung out here. The number 18 machine, that black car, started on the outside of row number 1. Mark McKay out of Sarasota, Florida, took the lead away from Joe Liparini, the pole sitter, and the super sweep contender. In 4th is Jonathan Start.
And Liparini had that full 1 second advantage in qualifying, so that's again, we talk about that's a lot. A 1 second jump on a field of cars that are all equal is really outstanding.
Now, if these cars are this spread out, I want to see what's going to happen with 5th, 6th, 7th. If they climb in here, if they team up, you think they can close that gap at all, Dorsey?
Well, they got to work together, and unfortunately, when you get back in the pack more, you end up with more cars around you most of the time, and they're fighting for every corner, so that slows them up. These guys up front are pretty clean, really.
White-red machine, the number 14 of Ali Naimi, and he's kind of all by himself here, hoping to get some partners to make a charge to the front here through turn number 1. Ali's doing a very nice job. Again, he finished in the 3rd position last year on the podium. This is his 13th try at securing a national championship.
Kind of stuck out in no man's land, nobody to play with.
Maybe he likes it that way, because these guys look pretty dicey right here. We're talking specifically about the 02 machine of Tom Daly out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. Certainly had a very strong run this year, winning the Central Division, which races here 3 times a season.
You know, when we had team cars, we would run really close to each other. These big 3 long straightaways here really can get a great draft advantage if you've got a teammate willing to stay behind you and push you further.
That's Start going out of view here, and this is that battle for the 6th position. Get a look here through turn 5 again. It's Showroom Stock C. We find smaller classified cars. You go to Showroom Stock B. It's a bigger car, bigger horsepower. So again, putting it all to work here in a very close to stock class.
Ken, so these cars, really the only modifications that are done to them are safety-related modifications. You know, the roll cages inside and the seatbelt systems and the fire systems and so forth that a street car doesn't come with. But when you look at the chassis, like John Bizignano was talking about, you know, you got street tires, street brakes. You know, it's all the same stuff.
Well, it's working right now. If you're a Toyota fan, you've got a driver to cheer for out front. It's Mark McKay and the Hoosier Tire McKay Racing TRD machine. 2002 Toyota Celica GTS leading the field here in Showroom Stock C.
Handily leading the field. He's actually pulling away.
Nearly a second lead, 0.98 seconds. Again, at the scoring stripe of the start-finish, that's what we're looking at as far as the gap, but it looks to be a widening of it. Top 4 now breaking away just a bit from the 5th position of Naomi.
The racetrack is in different condition than the last time they saw it. It's been pretty warm all week here. This is the only day of the week where we've had rain this morning. We had rain last night. And, of course, the temperature outside is probably 60 maybe. Yeah,
the sun's peeking out. It appears the wind's dying down just a little bit, at least from our vantage point, overseeing the paddock here in the front straightaway.
That wind has been just relentless all day. I mean, it's just been really, really blustery out there.
Hard on the gas, hard on the brakes. You can see how he sets that corner. He gets that front end drop down. He hard on the brakes, and he just powers through it.
Yeah, with these stock classes, you really can see the movement on the chassis leaning, and when guys jump on the brakes, dropping the nose and so forth.
Here again's your race leader, Mark McKay.
Good lead. I really didn't expect that.
in his 4th time at the SCCA National Championship Runoffs. Best has been a 6th place that came last year, and he's really put it together here. Well, yet another one of the division champions out of the Southeast, the Central Florida region. McKay showing Joel Liparini from Pittston, Pennsylvania. Again, 8 for 8 in race wins. 8 entered, 8 wins. 31 cars in his division Liparini beat out throughout the year. 31 times, or at least, that's kind of the entrants per division have been categorized. And this is a very popular class in the Northeast, and Liparini has had his way this year with that division. But man, he's got his hands full now trying to make up that 2.055 second gap from 1st to 2nd, where Liparini's hanging out right now in that white number 1.
Be interesting to see as the race goes on if we have any tire degradation. These cars, you can actually, like I said, about the 3rd lap from when you start the race is as good as the tire will get, and then it drops off half a second or so a lap, and you have to just manage it at that level.
We're in the sweet spot right now then, going through turn 5. We're 2.5 laps into this one. Up the hill from 5 to turn 6. That's the 65 of Houston. There goes the 06 of Jonathan starts running in the 4th position. Start out of Caledonia, Michigan, runs a Mazda 3. See, that car seems to be a pretty stable when he goes to the corner. Not a whole lot of roll.
And these guys doing a really good job of keeping the cars pretty straight, too. You don't see anybody sliding around. We talked about that before, the fact that they don't have a lot of horsepower. You really want to drive the cars on as straight a line as you can, and that's what you see them doing right now.
Is it possible for me, if I had, say, a Toyota Celica, to get to this class and run in this class with my street car?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, with this, all you need is the safety modifications, put to the car. The car itself is not that much changed. Just the safety aspect. A lot of these guys drive these cars back and forth to their hotel or drive on the street too.
I've seen VW Rabbits with tires stuffed inside them. The race tires are in the car and they're driving it back to work.
Yeah, they're a street legal car.
So that is a leading question, because if you're watching this and you have not caught the bug to go racing, road racing is awfully fun here in SCCA, and a chance for you awaits at a track that's not too far away. There's divisions throughout the country, 9 different regional divisions, and you can find a racetrack, I would say, within an hour and a half of really anywhere in the country to go watch and ask questions and find members in the area. And thankfully, SCCA has listed every entrant for the SCCA National Championship Runoff. So if you find a town near yours, you go, wow, I didn't know that there was a racer that hailed from the town next to me. I want to see if I can go racing, and what will it take? And I'm sure these racers will be happy to answer your questions.
Oh, absolutely. These showroom stock classes are very, very popular because of the affordability of it. I mean, it's the street car. You have to put the safety things into the car, but it doesn't cost you a lot, and they're reliable. Being street cars, they don't break as much.
In 13th there, we caught a glimpse of the 38 of James Place out of San Antonio, Texas. That's the battle for 10th, just ahead of him, coming up the front straight hill again.
They take these tires, and they're treaded tires. Now, if it was raining out, they'd just run a regular street tire like you would on your normal car. But they take these tires, and they shave the rubber down to where it's almost a slick. And the reason they do that is by having a treaded tire, the treads squirm. They call it tread sight, so you actually squirm in the corner and you lose grip. But if you shave them away and you make it a slick, you actually have more rubber on the road then than if those treads were in there.
And what is it like in the wet to drive a front-wheel drive car versus the dry? It's got to be a different experience.
It is, because you're going to make the front end of the cars doing everything. You're making it do all the steering. You're making it do 80% of the braking. And so it's really easy, to exceed the limit on the front-wheel drive car. But, you get used to them. Like I said, the little sliding around and stuff, they're fun to do. I mean, I spent a lot of years in a front-wheel drive car, and they're definitely a different.
Did you enjoy it in the wet when you had the chance?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I ran this race in the wet in the Dodge here and won here. And you just slide a lot more, that's all.
Hey, we're going to take a moment to slide away for a brief commercial break. We're in the midst of Showroom Stock C here in the 2010 National Championship Runoffs presented by Subway at Road America. Stay with us on SpeedcastTV.com's exclusive coverage. We'll be right back.
The 2010 SCCA National Championship Runoffs presented by Subway is brought to you by Mazda, Black Magic Car Care Products, and Gum Out.
Forget the rock. Let's roll. Follow your inner driver to the all-new 2011 Mazda 2. It's Zoom Zoom, concentrated.
Kid, where you been?
Just got back from an SCCA event.
Really?
Yeah, SCCA has more than 2,000 events every year.
Serious?
Go to SCCA.com and find people in your area that drive fast and get their hands dirty. And you don't have to be a supercar to compete.
So I go to SCCA.com, sign up, and I can start competing?
It's that easy.
In control of this event is Mark McKay.
Nobody really saw this coming. Everybody really, with the record that Joe Liparini has, 8 wins, won the runoffs here last year, won the June sprints this year. We really kind of thought he'd be a guy that might run away with this thing, but not so.
You see the sun now picking up from the clouds. It may warm up the temperatures on the track just slightly. Again, we mentioned the heavy winds brought in a lot of cold air. That seems to be blown through now here at Road America. And the sun now beginning to get set in the sky, and it's sunny throughout the racetrack. So that would be a constant, I would guess, more than anything.
I kind of wonder if some of these guys didn't change their setup from what they qualified with to counter the fact that the racetrack was so cold this morning.
And even when they're on the false grid, it was still pretty breezy and cool. So
Absolutely.
It really has changed since this race took the green flag. There is your race leader. Let's take a look back to the gap here. That's Joel Liparini running second in the number 1 Acura Integra.
Good battle developing for third place now.
06 of Jonathan Start trying to get that position away from the 65 machine. Brian Houston's out of Irvine, California in that Chevy Cobalt. Into the carousel here. And I got to admit, Dorsey, I took one driving school here. Duck Waddle was my instructor, and I could never figure out the carousel to save my life. How many times can he apex it, and how different is it with a car that's not going 200 miles an hour?
Well, I tell you what, front-wheel drive car, that's a really hard corner because of the fact that you're making the front tire do everything. You're making it accelerate the car, brake at 80% of the car, and also turn the car. In any long corner, 180-degree corner like the carousel, you know it's going to give up somewhere. So you're right. I mean, you can drive in the first part of that corner pretty hard and adjust speed in the middle and try to drive off that corner fast. That's probably the best way to do. But it's like you say, it's asking a lot for the car to continue to turn like that and accelerate at the same time.
Battle for third. Again, it continues. The position right now is held by Jonathan Start. He wiggled just a bit there, trying to get himself squared away in that Chevy Cobalt for the next corner here. Going up to turn 12, the Billy Mitchell bend, and man, Jonathan Start starting in the 7th position. Start is from Caledonia, Michigan, as we mentioned. And he is all over the back bumper of that Chevy right now.
Had a little bit better run out of that out of Canada corner and almost was able to get alongside.
Drafting up the front straightaway, we mentioned that horsepower deal. Right here, right now, it may not be such a slipstream because these cars are matted.
Yeah,
that's what they have.
Yep, absolutely. That's why it's so imperative that they should really be tucked up close to one another to get any advantage you can because, we're fighting a big wind outside. But anyway, these are, like you say, they don't have a lot of horsepower.
And as they come down into turn number 1, it looks like it's going to be Start looking to the inside. Will he make the gentlemanly pass, or will it be contested here? Ooh, man.
Definitely contested.
Yeah, I'd say. No gentleman's agreement, or whatever you want to call it there.
Got it done, though.
Made it work coming up the front stretch. Used that position to his advantage. Pulled to the inside and got the position away. Put the 06 of Start into third. 65 of Brian Houston back to 4th in his 13th SCCA National Championship run.
That battle's far from over. I would consider that in turn 5 we'll have a repass or an attempt for one.
And in that picture as well is the number 14 of Ali Niemi, and he's back there in the 5th position as they go side by side again.
That's what I figured would happen. This is our 3rd place battle, and
he got him back on the outside that time.
Yeah.
So as he was trying to protect the inside, there's a whole lot of positioning going on. It's like, you can have the inside. I'm going to stay on the button here longer.
That's why this racetrack is so good. The passing opportunities around here are great. That brake zone down into turn 5, a really good place to set up passing. So many of these newer racetracks, they don't have any good brake zones anymore, and as a result, you can't get any run on a guy. You can't pass. Not so here.
Or even on a Formula 1 type track, it's like, where do you turn a hard degree turn? It's only 2 times or 3 places on a given racetrack. You mentioned here, there's plenty. Even if you get a wheel off or something like that, I mean, it's not the chance you want, but right here, you don't see passing there that often, do you?
No, that was a very power move right there, no doubt about it.
Jonathan Start takes that spot back. He lost it coming out of 5 and takes it right back away here in the carousel on the entry.
Boy, and there's such a speed variance between the 2 cars. I wonder if something didn't just happen.
That was kind of a quick maneuver, too.
It was a very quick maneuver.
Houston in the 65 is the car we're watching. Tailpipe appears to be kind of that low to begin with. I don't think there's anything mechanical we can tell visually here on our SpeedcastTV.com cameras.
I just had a hiccup in the early part of that corner, but there was like you say, a huge speed variance between the two cars at that time.
Well, he's got it back under control here. The 06 again is Jonathan Start. He got the position away. We thought the 65 of Houston was just going to fall off, but he's gathering it back in again.
He's probably going to lose that tailpipe. It seems to be getting lower to the ground. Might just fall off here soon. But he also runs the risk of the tech guys seeing that and possibly bringing him in to have that taken off, because you wouldn't want a whole exhaust system out there.
No. Oh, they both go off. Oh, all the way off for the 65 of Houston that time.
That was all four off. Once he got the outside wheels on the curb, it just pulled the car over there.
This is the run for fourth. Jonathan Start in that fourth spot, trying to chase down Houston. He did it last time. He's going to do it again. Starts into third now as scoring refreshes here. Starts in third, Houston fourth. Naomi is in fifth. That white car with the orange hood coming into frame.
Yeah, and I was about to say, Naomi's starting to come into this race because of this battle going on. Here again, side by side through turn one.
Again in the dirt.
And that slows them both up. And now look, Naomi's right there. He's going to be involved in this now.
Three cars battling behind leader Mark McKay and Joel Liparini, who checked out on these two racers who are still side by side.
Now let's make it three.
Not three wide though, please.
I don't know. Turn 5, there's room down there. We'll see.
Everybody's off of 3. This is the kink. It might be turn 4, might be the part of the straightaway, but we're coming down into turn 5 here. Heavy braking zone, a popular place to get the passing done.
Good draft going on there, 2-car draft. It's not going to give him the inside, that's for sure.
Let's see what Ali does here. He's now in contention finally to make a pass. He was kind of running in his own race there for the first few moments.
Well, we'll try up on turn 5, turn 6. Side by side, it's going to make that pass easy. Got it done before the corner entry. That's good.
06 again. Jonathan Start, 65 is Brian Houston, and 14 is Ali Naemi. And man, it almost seems like they're running the same car. It's like you're making 3 clones here as they went through that corner.
Yeah, these cars are so equally matched. It's fun racing. You got to really stay close with someone.
Chevy Cobalt leading this trio here. Showroom Stock C again offering a lot of different things. Classified, again, these are lower horsepower, nearly stock cars. And the 14 there's Ali. We can see him hard at work here. And Ali really, I mentioned he finished third last year. But when you run your division, you run in the Northern Pacific Division, he had to race against Bill Seifert all season long, and Bill won 7 races. But when it comes to the national championships, you're against a whole different competition. Bill Seifert's well back in the field, and Ali's contending again for a podium run.
And there's our leader, back to him, way up front. Huge lead now. Something, like I said, we really didn't see this one coming.
Mark McKay, that black number 18, that Toyota is the leader. Has been leading since the first lap. We're approaching lap number 8 here as he goes through the final turn of turn 14 up this long 1-mile length of straightaway at Road America.
That is definitely dominant. I think I want that car. Give me that one.
Yeah, you get to choose after the race, not before. Yeah. I think Liparini would have been unanimous as the choice.
Yeah, no doubt.
Considering the speeds he put up this week, again, qualifying over 3 days, and your fastest lap of those 3 days determine where you sit on the grid.
There's Liparini right there in second place, a lonely second place. In the battle we've been following, real good battles, the third place battle.
And that is the battle. 3 cars now coming into frame on the inside of the front straightaway. Leading that effort is Jonathan Start. Then comes Brian Houston. Then comes Ali Naemi. And Ali will. I thought he peaked at the inside that time.
Yeah, this is going to be a really good battle for third place here. It gets more complex when the third car got caught up. Now you really got to start looking in the mirror. Not only just it's much more involved now.
And that changes the complexity. We're not quite. I mean, we're past halfway now. It's a 13-lap race. Tires are now being worn off. You mentioned the sweet spot's 2 to 3 laps in. Now we're 8 laps in. What do you think's happening to these to the rubber?
And right now, I mean, everybody's at the same exact point in the degradation of the tire-wise. I mean, they're all the same. They're all using this draft off the straightaway. Every lap, I think, you're going into 5, you're going to see at least an attempt. But he's not giving up the inside. Now we'll go around the outside.
Look at this. To the outside. He had it done to him. Now will he return the favor? Hard braking here. The 06 of Smart trying to stay in that position.
Locked up the inside tires a little bit. And this is going to be side by side in 6.
They're kissing mirrors here.
Yeah, we're going to lose a mirror.
Oh, man. Great racing action in Showroom Stock C. And that's Ali Naemi.
Wow. I think he just pulled off right there, headed up the hill. Something must have broke on that car.
In the battle for third as we watch the pair go up the hill and carry them through turn 6. Naime never made the corner. What a rough break for that racer.
Yeah,
out of Morgan Hill, California.
He was right there battling for that third place with these two guys, and I think that was a mechanical failure of some sort because he just pulled off the racetrack off to the side.
And we're sad to say Philip Royal, the editor-in-chief of Sports Car Magazine, has just pulled down. I got a note here. He's a true rookie that with Project Car put together and made a great story in Sports Car Magazine. He is now on pit road.
Yeah, see the car right there.
And that's another machine that's already in the pits, the 59 of Gino Carini. The car that had the silver machine is Royals. Already up into the cone area. So unfortunately for Royal, his run in the championship is over. Here comes that battle for third. A bit of a gap now.
Not that far back from Joe Lipperini. Now, these two guys might be racing themselves up into a second place situation soon.
Lipperini's last lap, 251.121. Last lap for start, 253.17. But that was again a heavily contested lap there, and these guys are now getting some clean air.
Squealing tire's a happy tire.
Battle for 11th there. That 23 machine out in the black 23. I caught that. Peter Keene out of Cocoa Beach, Florida. He's he's under attack. That's an understatement here. The number 8 machine right there with him. Jim Eben.
Again, side by side on the entry to the kink always gets your hackles up. It just doesn't work out usually very well.
Eben in the 2007 Volkswagen Rabbit right in the middle of that 3-car tussle. That's 11th, 12th, and 13th. 13th in the line, their number 6 machine. The red Volkswagen Rabbit of Steve Hendricks of Rosemount, Minnesota. 2 Rabbits in pursuit here. 11th, 12th, 13th again through turn 12. The Billy Mitchell bend now over here. Again, this downhill run. I admire how these guys take different tacks and angles to try to get position for 14.
Good
and Eben will go to the inside and do just that in that Volkswagen.
Yeah, Eben really got that one done right. Came out from under the old bridge corner. Now the Bill Mitchell bend, I guess we'll call it. Much better line and now we got a draft, side-by-side draft. Watch, the red car should get the advantage here going into 1.
And that red car is the number 6 machine of Steve Hendricks out of Rosemount, Minnesota. The Luther Westside Volkswagen. Pair of Rabbits again chasing that Acura. The Acura off of 14 had a much better exit, and he's got that advantage back here. Evan tried to get him into 14, had it momentarily, and now the 23 machine of Keene is back in control of that battle for 11th. Make that 9th, excuse me.
I think the Volkswagen's not as good aerodynamically. You saw that the two of them kind of suffered on the top speed there.
And again, they match up on horsepower and weight more so than is this car sleeker or lower. There's no, the body heights, it's all relative to the showroom condition.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, these long straightaways, you're going to have some variances between the two different body types too. These cars are reaching actually their potential top speed.
And that's got to be a big difference in, say, Mid-Ohio, where the runoffs were held for a number of years.
Totally. I mean, that's one of the complaints that we used to have at Road Atlanta, and certainly here too. People say that this is a horsepower track or straightaway tracks. The straightaway is so long that it definitely favors some cars over others. But I don't think you could pick a better racetrack to run runoffs at than this one. This has just got every kind of corner available out to there. And, you got to go up the straightaway fast. I'll give you that, but you got to be good in the corners too.
Wow, Hendricks that time in that red Rabbit trying to get the position on Eben is doing everything possible to get it done in turn 5 or turn 6. End of story. He's got the pass.
Yeah, he will now anyway.
I don't know.
Oh, this is slowing both of them up though.
Oh, there he goes. Eben in that black machine gives up the spot momentarily. Maybe he's thinking, hey, we got to go single file for a little while here. That Acura's squirting away on us.
It would be better. No question.
The red number 6, Steve Hendricks, excited to be here from Rosemount, Minnesota, in his very first SCCA National Championship run. Takes that position away, and it's position number 10 now that he has over Jim Eben in that black number 8.
2 different lines approach to the carousel.
And there's that dangling tailpipe there in the 65, still running strong. That is the racer in 3rd, Brian Houston. This is the battle for the 3rd position. The 06 is Jonathan Start Houston in 4th. Under contest here on the front stretch as we're within 3 laps of the finish. Lap number 10 now being recorded in the books.
I was really thinking if these two guys kept working together and pushing themselves forward, they might catch up with Joe Lipperini for 2nd place.
That is a 7.8 second difference now to the 2nd place run of Joe Lipperini, and now they're going to go at it again.
Yeah, as I say that, they go back to battle.
Hammering down as a 65 of Brian Houston, making the pass on the 06 of Jonathan Starr. This has been a battle all race long.
Side by side, man, going down in the brake zone for 3.
Mazda versus Chevrolet into turn 3.
So these guys are pretty evenly paired. He lets him have that.
Starting the Mazda gets the spot back. And here we go.
Oh,
look at the difference all of a sudden open up here. Maybe two corners of frustration perhaps as he got past.
Something wrong with it. Unless he missed the gear coming off that corner, the gap just got really big.
Jonathan Start and that Mazda has pulled away from Brian Houston, and Houston now coming into frame, losing distance as they head into turn 5.
I'm starting to think he probably missed his upshift there.
Okay.
And that's what dropped him back so far, because the car looks like it's running okay again. And that's easy to do, too. It's very easy to mess up.
And you can tell kind of by the number style, this is a Phoenix performance machine. There's guys who are awesome in T1, the Aquilani boys. They know how to get it done out here.
They build real good race cars, no question about that. A lot of talent on that team.
And this is the Volkswagen battle. Now they got that Acura in the sandwich. And we mentioned how aggressive the number 6 was of Steve Hendricks. He's now got in the 9th position. And the neat thing about this is he is really working well. And with that other Volkswagen here in frame now, it's Jim Evan. They both have now gotten by the Acura, so this could be that tire wear issue and how far do you push and how hard you push. And the teamwork may be coming together. Whether they don't or not, those Volkswagens might work really well together.
They probably do work well together, and they can do this double draft up the straightaway and help each other out. Now it's the brake zone, turn 5 as usual.
Yep, Peter Keen's got a good view of that. He's that Acura we talked about that got dispatched. And look at that again.
Too much speed. Hey, Kate, too much speed in the corner. You saw the smoke come off the tires, locked it up just a minute, and he couldn't make the corner and loses the position back. A good double repass.
And I think with the showroom stock conditions, the Hendricks machine, the red car, he actually slowed down before the corner. He saw that coming.
Yeah, he knew that they were getting in too deep, and you just slow up on purpose, let the other car get in front of you, and then just cut by to the inside, knowing he couldn't make that corner.
And that's a benefit of a car that doesn't go, as I mentioned, 200 miles an hour.
Yeah.
You can actually see that and read that where it's not too late to make an adjustment.
Well, you got more time to think about all the different things at this speed for sure. Again, 2 different varying lines at the approach to the carousel.
Let's see how they go here. They roll through the corner about the same here in the pair of Volkswagen Rabbits. Jim Evan, the black number 8. Steve Hendricks in the red number 6.
And the whole trick of that corner is where in that corner you can get the full throttle drive off that. And like I said, the elevation change there is pretty severe. You're going down a hill. And if you can get to the throttle earlier on that downhill run, it really pays huge dividend down this long straightaway.
We've had a lot of fun watching this battle for 9th. We have to tell you, the race leader continues to check out. Mark McKay now has an 11.4 second lead on Joel Lipperini.
He's in the next county.
Yeah, we're following the battle for 9th here. The best race on the racetrack. The red number 6 is Hendricks out of California. The black number 8 is Jim Evan out of Appleton, Wisconsin.
Pair
home of the Harry Houdini Museum.
There you go.
For you history buffs.
Pair of VW Rabbits going at it.
Great view here. Just a quick glimpse of how you can get a good position above 5. You can see a bit of 14. You can see going in off of 7 a little bit if you get the right spot.
This is just an awesome performance by our leader. Nobody really, like we said at the beginning, nobody expected anybody would run away with this race. Just too competitive. And this has just been a fantastic drive.
Mark McKay in that black number 18 hails out of Sarasota, Florida. 2000 Toyota Celica GTS, sponsored by Hoosier Tire, McCoffey Racing, and McKay Racing, and TRD. So he's got a little help from Toyota, which is always a good thing. He finished 4th in the national point standings. He only won 4 of the 7 races, but he won a very competitive Southeast Division this year.
Towed a long way up here from Sarasota.
Through the carousel again. We talked about how the Volkswagen Rabbits seem to be pretty evenly matched here in the. He's just wheeling it.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
It's been on a rail. I mean, that car has not twitched, hasn't done anything. You watch it go through the corner. I mean, it's on a flat platform.
And Dorsey, you've been in a position to have a car this good. At this point in the race, you just head down focused, or have you been enough times around this racetrack where you go, oh boy.
I mean, he's so far out in the distance, he already in his mind has this one. He knows the only way that he could lose this race is if something broke or if he made a mistake. I don't think you're going to find that he's going to make a mistake. No pressure whatsoever.
And he's had a clear track really since about lap 5. We're approaching lap 12 of 13 here. This time up the hill, he'll see the signal for one more circuit around.
And got 11 seconds in hand with 2 laps to go. There's no way I'm going to get beat.
There's Joe Lipperini, the man everybody had the target on the back of, and he is running a very strong second. That's Race Labs Acura, but that's all he has. 11 seconds behind the race leader. Lipperini, the national points champion. Again, in your division, you get to race, and you get a certain amount of points. You get a certain amount of points for cars that you race and pass in your division. So it, again, encourages car count and levels out the playing field. If you have a lot of cars in your class, you get more points accordingly.
And I really wonder if they made a chassis adjustment on that car to because of the weather change from when they qualified to now. Because I didn't expect a runaway winner here.
They've experienced, I think, 3 of the 4 seasons here. I mean, they started the race a very heavy breeze coming across overcast skies. The sun opened up. got through the clouds, and now the wind died down, but it's getting a little bit colder and overcast again.
Yeah, that car has so much body roll to it. I just I'm wondering if they didn't disconnect the sway bar or something, thinking that the surface level grip was going to be so bad.
We were following this race all along. Jonathan Stewart in his 06 machine was really under contest for the first 2/3 of the race, but here he is all by himself in the third position.
Yep, something's happened to our...
Brian Houston was the guy he's going to be talking about. I was battling with you for that fourth position, but that's all Houston has right now, as he just now crosses start-finish. Perhaps that tailpipe was more of an issue. He is
maybe had a spin or something.
Yep.
I mean, he's lost a heck of a lot of ground. There's the car now.
Still in fourth. Here he is in that white machine coming at us, the Chevy Cobalt. This is Brian Houston again. Was tucked right up underneath that 06 machine of Smart just a few laps ago.
Good to have straightaway lost there somewhere, so I would have to assume he's been off the racetrack a little bit.
In fifth is a black 02 of Tom Daly, starting the 8th position. He's the next car in line here as we're on our final circuit of Showroom Stock C.
Or he might have a gearbox problem. Like we saw that big gap open up before.
Yep.
I thought he maybe missed a gear. Well, maybe he doesn't have a gear. You know, he might be running along right now with no third or something.
That very well could be. And this is the battle we showed you as well, the Volkswagen tussle between Steve Hendricks and Jim Eben. It's not over yet. Hendricks in that red car leading the 8 of Jim Eben.
Eben's trying every way he can to try to get around. And of course, they've made a couple passes and repasses. But with two identical cars, it makes it difficult.
Battle for 9th here. Back there in 11th, waiting to see if any opportunity arises, is the 23 of Peter Keene, who had that position. But again, these rabbits ganged up on him and passed him on up. Here we go. Now look at this run. This is Joe Lipperini, and right there behind him, I'm sorry, I had it wrong. This is Crawford, the team car to Lipperini.
Yeah, that is a team car. That was one that was in the pits earlier.
He's running in 13th right now, as we're in the waning moments here of Showroom Stock C at Road America.
Here we go.
Eben in the black car on the inside.
Not enough. Not this time anyway. Wisely knew it and tucked back. Yeah, too much speed with the... He's going to get that position now.
Wow, and if he does, well, let's see.
That's two cars off there. I wonder if there's some more there or something.
There was a bit of oil 2 races ago before the lunch break. We hope they addressed it in Turn 5. I heard the Spec Miata guys talking about there could have been oil or slickness in Turn 5. That may have played a factor, but I think...
Yeah, because both those cars just lost grip and went straight off the outside. One, I could just say it's too much speed, but the second one kind of surprised me, too.
And how Eben lost distance there. He just the red car of Hendricks just went way hot into that corner as well. And double checkers await the race winner and national champion through the stripe.
Made that one look easy.
Mark McKay is the winner. Joe Lipperini, the national points champion, will come home as the silver medalist in SSC.
This battle is going to go right down to the wire for 9th place.
Jonathan Stark crosses the line in 4th, and we're keeping an eye on this battle. They're still in contention here for a 9th place run, the best race on the racetrack.
Evans got it right now, but there's still 3 passing opportunities, good ones. Here's one of them.
Looking down the hill here for the final couple of corners. He'll stay tucked in behind in that red VW Rabbit.
You know he's going to do a draft up this straightaway.
I think Evan did a very deliberate move to the inside there, now has the racetrack to himself. He's making it a bit wider here. You can't blame him for that in the black machine.
No, not on the last lap, last corner, and that's what this is.
Jim Eben out of Appleton, Wisconsin. One of the hardest fought battles for 9th you'll see here at the championship Runoffs. And again, it just contests how cool it is to get a chance to race here against the driver from California, Steve Hendricks from Rosemont, Minnesota, and Jim Eben from Appleton, Wisconsin. They've been doing this all season long in the Central Division. And it's down to this, the final run.
Pretty darn close.
Eben will get it over Steve Hendricks. The battle for 9th is decided. Give it to Jim Eben.
Those guys will have a fun night.
A little bit of a cookout in the chat after, I'm sure.
Yeah, they had a good race, both of them.
Blinking those lights is certainly a celebratory move by our race winner, already receiving the checkered flag. That's the black number 18 of Mark McKay. And man, what an awesome run. 11.4 seconds, the margin of victory. In what we thought would be a lot closer event with Lipperini sniffing the lead a little bit more than he did. He finishes second.
You just don't see that much, that's so rare to have such a big lead like that.
Jonathan Stark finishes in the 3rd position. He'll get the bronze medal. Biz will talk to those 3. Finishing 4th is Brian Houston, again hanging on after that really strong run for 3rd. He'll end up 4th. The 02 of Tom Daly ends up in 5th. In 6th is Larry DeLude out of Litchfield, Connecticut. Didn't see much of Larry, but he again kind of was in the middle of a great race for 3rd and a great race for 7th. Finishing 7th in the number 27 machine is Kenneth Fitzgerald, up from 16th, so good run by Ken. In 8th was the number 38 machine, James Place out of San Antonio, Texas. Then came Evan Hendricks and Peter Keene, 9, 10, 11. We saw them a lot during this race because it was a great run to find out who would finish 9th. And the answer has been made on who's going to win the SSC championship. Mark McKahey.
Boy, in dominating fashion. I mean, just smoked the field.
Had that Hoosier Tire McKahey Racing TRD Celica working just fine. Thank you very much.
Yeah, he never turned a wheel wrong all day. I mean, that car just looks like it's on a rail around here.
And what a heartbreak for Ali Naemi. He ends up in the 17th position. Unfortunately for him, a run for 4th, and he ended up going up to 5 and didn't make it to 6. I mean, that just goes to tell you how much these guys want it and how much margin there is. Not a whole lot between winning and finishing.
No, he could have, something definitely broke on the car, and he got it to a safe spot. And we saw a couple guys go off there later, so maybe there is a little oil down there. They certainly had an issue.
Mark McKahey from Sarasota, Florida, is going to be talking to Biz here in a few moments. He's coming down pit road as our champion in Showroom Stock C. One more race for you this afternoon. It is Formula F, and that's going to be a dandy. Boy, you talk about great racing at the amateur level.
That'll be a good one. Formula Ford, or as it used to be called, we'll get into that, is one of the most competitive classes, always has been.
So McKahey pulls to a stop here. We find certainly, I mean, this is the only thing that can stop him today is the end of the race. I mean, McKahey.
That's about it.
He was on it from the start to the finish.
Yeah, that car really looked good. It just, it didn't slow up a bit.
And it could have been some guessing. He got it dead on. Liberini, you mentioned maybe just to tick off. We'll find out perhaps if it was a suspension issue, or as we found out, even from Jim Dentisi after the race, we saw earlier, a guy's been around this place for 20 years. He said, man, I had an oil leak. I was hanging out for dear life, and he still ends up on the podium. So things can happen, and certainly stories to be told. Let's now check in with John Bizignano on the Mobil 1 Winners Interview. Biz?
Mark, congratulations on a great run. Now, let me tell you, you qualified second, a full second behind the pole-sitting driver. Where did you find the speed in this car when it came to the race?
Oh, just, Liberini is just one of those guys that he's here every year, and he raises the bar every year. He sets the mark, and, I don't know if his setup changed or if he just, he's the guy that really got me going really hard. I mean, he does a lot for this class, and I'm breathless. I was speechless, too.
Well, speechless, let me ask you one more question, but what changes did you make between your qualifying and the race? I mean, you were lapping a second faster than anyone else on the track.
I went through the track in my head and just kept working on just basics, and and when I got out there, just tried to execute it, and everything went right. Just one of those days, just incredible.
One of those incredible days. Congratulations on the gold medal. Bonnie's going to put that on. But of course, Joel Liberini, someone who we've always enjoyed interviewing in many different finishing positions. Joel, I've got to ask you, buddy, when we were on the grid here together, you were talking to a mechanic. He said, just make sure that he does everything right. He's got the fastest car on the track. You weren't talking about yourself. Were you talking about the 18 at that point?
Yeah, of course I was talking about the other one. But yeah, we had a good solid race. What could we say? We came up second today.
You qualified a whole second faster than anyone else. Did you max out the speed in qualifying and you couldn't get it back in the race, or?
The track conditions definitely changed, and we made some choices that maybe we shouldn't have. So it is what it is. Second place, we'll take it.
You got a smile on your face. Congratulations on that silver medal. Well, the gentleman who is enjoying himself the most, having the best race out of everyone in this class, what was it like between you and the fourth place car back and forth? At one time I saw you pass each other 3 times in one lap.
I think so. It was a good race. He pushed hard, I pushed hard. We're going for the podium. I mean, there's nothing more than that. We wanted it, and luckily I came through and I was able to accomplish it. So thanks to my team, my dad. This is going out to my mom. We lost her in November, so this is for her. And Mazda, Hoosier, Redline, Carbotech, it's been great.
Well, sorry about your mom. I'm sure she was with you. Congratulations on a great bronze medal and a fantastic drive.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, guys, we're done down here.
Jonathan Stark comes home third, beats his best ever run here in 4 previous runoffs. He finished 5th here last year with motivation. with perhaps a little Angel riding along. A great run in third.
He worked the hardest of anybody out there, I'll tell you, to get that third place. That was a good battle all the way through.
And Joe Lipperini said they may have guessed a bit wrong, and guessing right today was their race winner. But Lipperini, get this, 8 times on the podium in 12 runoff events. That says a lot about his preparation and dedication to his racing.
That is an amazing statistic, no doubt about it. And everybody really thought that Joel was going to take off. I think what they did is made some choices to the chassis based on the weather conditions, and maybe got it a little bit too much. I saw that roll right at the beginning of the racetrack, that body roll, and it just looked awful excessive to me.
Mark McKay taking that flag around again and keeping the hazards on, man. He might be driving this all the way back to Sarasota, Florida. He just has to stop for gas.
He didn't put a scratch on it, that's for sure.
He has to go through the tech shed, as we mentioned earlier. But again, the Hoosier tires really held up well for him in this event, and the Toyota horsepower and everything else that comes with it. Showroom stock C. We mentioned that it was classified as Showroom Stock B last year, but they want to make it competitive. They want to make it entertaining and fun for the racers, and to be in this position takes an awful lot to get here. But I mentioned that bringing that Celica GTS down to the Showroom Stock C didn't seem to be a deterrent because Lipperini, again, if he made a couple of different adjustments, it would be a whole different race.
You know, you talked about driving in his head, taking and thinking about this racetrack and driving this racetrack in his head. That's a really, really sound, good thing to do. To work on the areas of the racetrack where if you have a problem in a particular corner, just really study, really work on it, and come time to race, just hit all your marks. And boy, he did.
And Dorsey, think about this: as you make your run through the ladder of road racing, there's more and more people involved in those decisions. Where do you read the charts? Where do you do the mapping? At this level, you might have 2 or 3 people working with you, but in reality, the driver and his brain. I always say racers have computers in their minds. He does a lot of that preparation, and to focus on that mind work here to make these corners work as well as he did in that race car, man, hats off to him.
And like I say, it's so easy to overdrive these showroom stop classes, so to overdrive a corner, get in too deep, lock up the brake, slide wide. We saw it during the race. It's so easy to make those mistakes. Mark didn't make any of them.
No, and he goes up turn 5 again, waving hands to the cheering fans going up the hill here as well. And the neat thing about this is he gets his victory lap, and he's taking along a very special, we don't know who it is, but think about that memory they have going around this racetrack after a victory at Road America, winning a national championship.
That's a very, very big, long lap.
And he's slowing down for some reason. Yeah. I think it's pretty interesting. Hey, Biz, what do you got for us?
Well, I'll tell you, the 06 car certainly enjoyed his race, especially with the 75 car. This is what we call a donut, guys. Look at this, Dorsey. Perfect impact. This came from his competitor's outside wheel. I think you said earlier, Dorsey, they got to be careful when they're playing this rough because you knock off valve stems. I don't know if that's what happened to the 65, but a lot of fun out there here at Elkhart Lake. Okay, guys.
And Brian Houston left a little bit of rubber there as a souvenir on that side of Jonathan Start's machine. And boy, just think about the memories they have from that race battle.
Little donut.
Third. We wanted to show you the battle for 9th because McKay flat out checked out on these guys.
Yeah, that was awesome.
The 2010 SCCA National Championship Runoffs, presented by Subway, is brought to you by Mazda, Black Magic Car Care Products, and Gum Out.
Forget the rock. Let's roll. Follow your inner driver to the all-new 2011 Mazda 2. It's Zoom Zoom. Concentrated.
Kid, where you been?
Just got back from an SCCA event.
Really?
Yeah, SCCA has more than 2,000 events every year.
Serious?
Go to SCCA.com and find people in your area that drive fast and get their hands dirty. And you don't have to be a supercar to compete.
So I go to SCCA.com, sign up, and I can start competing?
It's that easy.